Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wrong Road podcast. Me, Aaron, hosting right now, and we've got George.
Hello.
It's just us two today,
Yes, just
and
us.
this is a little bit of a bonus episode. We're going to cover some old news that we didn't have time to cover in the first episode, and some news of a few trips that we did recently. Um,
Well, a trip.
well, yeah. Well, there's a trip to see Kingston, but yeah, we'll get into that. So we'll start off with something we mentioned towards the end of last episode when we were discussing the upcoming events.
When we thought that we had been recording for an hour and 20 minutes, but in reality we'd been recording for 45 minutes because what we used to record lied to us.
Yeah, pretty much.
As a matter of fact, I'm actually
So
going to take down what time we actually started so it can't lie to us again.
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah, so we briefly mentioned last episode that Kilmerston has returned from overhaul at the Mid-Hants Railway. And for those who don't know, um, the Somerset and Dorset Railway Trust, who own Kilmerston, had a deal with the Mid-Hants to overhaul Kilmerston, which is a Peckett 040. And it moved to Ropley, I think, around May last year, or before. It probably was a bit before that, but they didn't actually start the overhaul until kind of May, June time.
Yeah,
And
and we arrived at Ropley still in like one piece.
yes,
It
yes,
was they hadn't started anything yet.
no,
So I make that clear.
yes. Um, and it was in its Somerset and Dorset blue livery, so it looks pretty good. But yeah, so the MHR
Finished the
did
overhaul in 1 year.
did the overhaul for the Somerset and Dorset Trust, and they're planning to use it, or they already are using it for the Day Out with Thomas Day, like we mentioned,
As
uh,
Percy.
as Percy. Now, the main discussion point with this is the livery, because everyone's been discussing the livery. So,
Everyone has been declaring that they hate the livery and it's the most disgusting, most vile livery ever to exist, and
yes, it's
that it
apparently
should
the
be
most
burned with fire.
horrific livery that ever existed, according to some people.
And in reality, if you do some research, it's actually very close to an authentic livery that it operated in service in.
Yeah, so the green is actually very close to what it actually had in Kilmerston Quarry, supposedly.
You
So
can
if you
find some pictures of it online. I'd say that the green, in reality, the prototypical green, is actually a bit darker than the livery it's painted in
yeah,
at the moment. But they have just done that to make it Percy as well. So I
yeah,
mean,
I
make of
mean,
that as you will. But I haven't really got much against it. It's more
no,
authentic than it used to be in.
the livery is really not far off what it had in the quarry. Like even the
Running
running
board.
board, the side of the running board is red when it was in the quarry, which is kind of crazy, really.
It just happens to match Percy's livery.
Yes,
That's it.
so I guess you could say Percy is based on Kilmerston, confirmed. There we go.
Yeah, he's not, but
No, he's definitely not, but you know. So yeah, actually, me and George made a trip out to Ropley on the 29th to see its
mine was
first.
more of a trip than Aaron.
Yeah, well, George came 2 hours just to see a green packet, so
Yeah, well worth it in my opinion.
that was on him. There was like 20 minutes for me, so
Didn't even get to see it move.
no, it did
Just saw it
move, but
hiding.
it didn't move when we were there, so kind of unfortunate. But it did blow the whistle, so there we
Yeah,
go. We got to hear the whistle.
I'm glad I drove 2 hours to go to see a packet blow its whistle.
Yes,
Um, I actually liked the livery. It looks fine. I mean, it looks like a packet. Like packets
yeah,
don't. They're not really known for their exciting liveries. They tend to just be painted a color, and that's what they've done. I mean, the complaints come from the fact that what I've heard is people just like the look of the old livery, even though it wasn't authentic at all. And then I've also heard thrown around that how expensive the livery was to apply the previous one with all the varnishing and stuff that went into it, and then they
Right.
just painted over it.
I mean, did they think it
But
wasn't going to get fresh paint
yeah,
anyway?
I thought I don't get it. Like, it was obviously going to be getting repainted anyway. Like, I
yeah,
don't really know. They just paid loads of money for that one livery, and that's it. Never going to paint it again.
that livery is not anywhere near authentic, by the way. So,
I'm not
in
going to
case
deny
that
it.
is, if anyone thinks, oh, it's much more authentic as it was before, no,
I'm
actually the
not gonna.
opposite.
I'm not going to deny that it didn't look good. Like,
It did
it
look very
weren't.
good. It did
Like,
look good.
but it's the same as the 7F 88, the blue livery that it used to be in. That wasn't authentic either.
No, but it did look good. It did rock
It
it
looked good.
pretty well.
It looked very good, but it wasn't authentic.
No, so yeah, I actually quite like the green as well, to be honest. But
Green is completely fine. Just looks like a packet.
it literally just looks like NCB livery. So
Yeah, I don't know what.
that's
The packet doesn't necessarily need to be in a grand livery. It doubles up as being able to use it as Percy. That'll make money for the Midlands Railway. What's the
yeah.
problem?
There we go. So yeah, it's operating this whole week at the day out with Thomas.
Yep.
Supposedly, I haven't actually seen any photos of it running, but it is meant to be shunting in the yard as Percy, I'm sure. Um, so yeah, that's that topic. Um,
We wanted to just get that over and done with since we were gonna talk about it last time,
yeah,
and then
we did
thought we
briefly
were rushed,
mention.
but we weren't.
Yeah, we did briefly mention that it was
It was there.
fresh from overhaul, but yeah, no. Now to move on to a slightly older topic, I suppose, and that is locomotive services
A couple of
taking
older
over.
topics, actually.
Huh?
There's a couple of older topics in a row to come next.
Well, yeah, but this one in particular is probably a few months old now, which is locomotive services taking over Steam Dreams and buying Mayflower on top of that. Now, in a lot of people's opinions, this takeover, as it were, didn't really go too well. The first obvious reason being they don't have the coaching stock for it. The only Mark One set they have is the Sapphiros train set, and they haven't got
Oh,
enough spare
I
Mark
remember
Ones.
this.
Yeah, they don't have enough spare Mark Ones to do the Steam Dreams tours.
They were using
Uh,
Mark Threes.
yeah, so a lot of the first tours that they did, they operated with Mark Threes.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you,
So
but when I pay for my rail tour ticket, I love to have the authentic journey on a 1950s Mark III. It is brilliant.
yeah, lovely aircon.
Yeah,
Mm,
I
no,
love
it's
a Mark.
great.
I love having a steamed tour on a Mark III. It's very authentic.
The first tour they did was there's Royal Scot in Scotland on Mark Threes, which lots of people loved, definitely. But yeah,
It's just not the
well,
same experience, is it?
it's not the same experience. No, it wasn't a great start, and they soon realised it. I think they ran the first Sunset Steam Express, and then from that point they cancelled like most of the Sunset Steam Expresses. I think they left like 3 for the rest of the year.
So, are they getting more Mark Ones, or have they got more
Uh,
Mark Ones?
well, that's a good question. That's a question I actually don't know the answer to be honest. I mean,
So
I'm
they
sure
just
they've got some that they're
they just
working on, but
bought all this stuff and then gone, oh well, now we can't run it.
yeah, they pretty much started with buying the company and then considered the fact that they need coaching stock for it. So yeah, that was kind of
Probably should have thought about that before buying the company.
yeah, it was kind of
Wait,
their
what happened
fault.
to the? Did the company they bought not have coaches?
Right, so let me explain for people that don't know about Steam Dreams. So Steam Dreams was a company that ran tours, but they are not a train operating company, a TOC. So they can't run their own tours. Or they can't run their own stock on the main line, I should say.
Oh, so they
So
just supply the locos.
they're just like a tour promoter kind of thing, and they come up with the tours, but they were running
Then they get stock from nobody.
using West Coast
Uh,
coaches and West Coast locos,
that makes sense.
which Mayflower was a part of. But LSL bought Mayflower at the same time as buying Steam Dreams, which is certainly a surprise.
So they ended up running another rail tour like company, I guess, with a bunch of locos, and then suddenly realized they had no one to run them with.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
why couldn't they continue using West Coast stock?
Uh, because West Coast wouldn't let them use them. I mean, they're different
I I bet you that
POCs, so
I bet you that's like what they were planning on. They were hoping that they would continue to be able to use the West Coast stock on
well,
the
yeah. That would
Steam
be
Dreams.
very unlikely, but you know,
Because it's like when you buy a company, the company still remains independent, right? Is that what's happened here?
I
Like,
mean,
is
yeah,
Steam Dreams still a thing? It's just like
yes,
a sub company of LSL.
of yeah, locomotive
Yeah,
services.
they were probably thinking that they'd be able to continue using the West Coast stock,
Mm,
because they're just a child company to LSL instead of being merged.
yeah,
And
that's
then
pretty much.
that didn't go in their favor, maybe. I
No,
don't know.
no, they ended up cancelling all of the Windsor Steam Expresses for the year, and then they cancelled most of the Sunset Steam Expresses. Like I said, so they only had 3 left to run this year, I think. And then pretty much what they've done is the reason they cancelled half of the tours is so that they can use Statesman Rail stock where possible. Statesman Rail is another LSL owned brand, which is a diesel rail tours, but they actually operate with Mark II stock. I don't know if you've seen the Statesman Rail Mark IIs before.
How many Mark Twos have they got?
Like a full set. I don't know exactly how many, but
Could they not use the Mark Twos for the Steam tours?
well, that's what they're doing. That's what they're using the Statesman Rail stock now for most of the Steam Dreams tours.
Well,
Um,
that would have made sense to do that from the start, 'cause that's better than Mark Threes.
yeah, but they have the Mark IIs were already operating with Statesman Rail tours, which is why they couldn't use them on those first initial tours when they took over the company.
Yes.
So they realised their mistake, so they
They
cancelled
just
all the
need to get some more stock, I think.
yeah, they cancelled those tours and now they're just running the tours where they can guarantee they can get Mark IIs on it pretty much,
They've
which is a little bit better, but
they've really thrown themselves in the deep end here, because not only are they going to have to find some stock, they're going to have to then make sure that stock is mainline ready.
yep,
Um, and that could take a lot of money and a lot of time. It's
very
probably
much.
something they should have thought about.
They definitely should have considered it, yeah.
I mean, someone's going to turn around and tell me that they did consider it, and they went with it anyway.
Yeah.
And
And that's
if
their own fault then, isn't it? I
if they
mean,
did consider it and just went with it anyway, then what the hell are they doing? Because that was just like the stupidest idea ever. They really should have
yeah,
thought about getting stock beforehand, unless obviously they were worried that that I mean, I guess if they got the stock and then the buying of Steam Dreams just went wrong or something, it just didn't happen, then that's it. They've got a bunch of stock that they're not using. I don't know.
who knows?
I guess that probably would have put them in a bad situation, but I feel like not doing that beforehand put them in a guaranteed bad situation, while doing it beforehand would have only put them in a maybe bad situation.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, it hasn't been going too well for them, but um, they're still at it. They're still doing some more Steam Dreams tours this year, and they're about to announce their Christmas um, range of tours, I guess you could say. Um, so yeah,
Christmas range.
Christmas range, yeah.
Aaron's the professional on rail tours. I don't really know a lot about the different rail tour companies and stuff, so
Yeah. I mean, Steam Dreams used to operate very often in my kind of area, so I used to see Steam Dreams tours quite often.
never really taken much notice of what a rail tour is. I just see that there's something cool coming, and I find out what loco it is, and then I just go and see it. Like
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
don't really know what locos are owned by who either. I just see that I either see somewhere or get told that a certain loco is going to be in a certain place, and I go, "That's where I'm going."
Yep, I'm gonna be there. On that note of locos you see quite often, you can move on to the Britannia talk there, if you want.
Britannia, I see Britannia quite often, more frequently, as it's been down in the southwest a lot.
Yes.
Um, and we were going to discuss something that's also quite old, and that is the picture that got released of
And
the
video.
oh, there's a video as well, is there,
Yeah.
of the loco crew on Britannia raking coal forwards while moving.
Yeah. That's
We would assume moving at speed as well.
I mean some speed. I think it was probably in the 20 to 30 range. So it
That's
wasn't like full speed, but
fast enough. I mean, I would.
yeah, fast enough to be standing in the tender, I would say.
We wanted to discuss how dangerous this is, and I mean, I think very.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
obviously very, but
I'm a volunteer on a railway, and I mean, we would probably get shot for that.
yeah, then this is a mainline tour,
There's a
so
mainline tour.
I mean, you can make the point that they were going along the seawall, the Dawlish seawall, and there's no bridges, there's no footbridges that I can think of after Dawlish. Uh, so they had an
It's more
area
of a
without any bridges and that kind of
it's
stuff,
more of a
but
matter of
it's
falling off.
yeah, it's still not
Uh,
still
Coal
not safe, that's for sure.
coal is not a very even surface to be standing on,
No,
and it's obviously also not fixed in place. Like
no,
1 foot out of place, and he could have slipped and fallen.
pretty much.
And just the way trains are, if he slipped and fell, he would have just gone under. That's like
Mm,
probably the case. I mean,
yeah,
because he wouldn't have fallen like miles clear because he's in the middle of the tender. So he would have probably tripped and like fallen and flipped over the edge,
great.
and that wouldn't have been very good.
No,
Um,
it wouldn't have been a good look for steam on the main line, that's for sure. It would probably be quite a serious incident, obviously. I mean, it should still be a serious incident, even though nothing happened.
it should
But
be a serious incident. And what did they suffer any repercussions for it?
I don't know. I never saw anyone discuss it really, other than people that were
Because
videoing it.
it's just you just shouldn't be doing that.
No,
Like, literally anything could happen. But I think the primary thing when I saw it was just, well, he could fall. That's literally all I thought.
yeah,
I don't. That's actually the first thought that came to my mind. I don't think about obviously bridges and footbridges, etc., come to mind eventually. But the first thing I thought when I saw it was, well, what if he falls over?
yeah. No, it
Because that's the
wasn't.
risk no matter where you are.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it wasn't the best look, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, I only really saw people discussing it online, and I never really saw any reports about it, or
Even if he did
I don't know.
fall clear, he'll be injured because that's quite high up.
Yeah, I mean, he's falling off a bloody tender, so
Falling off of not just the tender, but the top of the coal pile in the tender. Like he's falling off of the maximum height of the tender. That's where his feet are.
perfect. So yeah, it's not
Yeah.
not the best
If you're ever
situation there.
firing a loco anywhere, don't stand on the coal while it's moving. I can imagine it's probably not safe. That's your message from the wrong road.
Nice. There we go.
That guy successfully did it without harm, but that doesn't mean you will. We promote safety
He's a
here.
lucky man. He's a lucky man. Yeah, I mean, I guess we should move on to some more
The next
mainline
point that
news.
Aaron wanted to talk about is not something that I don't remember it. I mean, I can see it coming back to me, but because apparently he mentioned it to me before.
Yes.
But if you want to lead it, because I don't even know how to start because I forgot, or I just kind of was in the
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, it's pretty much something that doesn't happen very often. Clanline failed its FTR exam on the 21st of July. Now, I believe the tour it was going to do was probably going to be diesel hauled anyway because the steam ban and all that stuff going on. But yeah, it's not very often that you see Clanline failing with any kind of problems. But supposedly during a routine examination, they discovered some minor cracking in the thermic siphons, which are inside the firebox. So discussions were made with boiler insurers, and it was agreed that they would need to work on it for it to operate safely, pretty much. So
I'm noticing
yeah,
while reading it that it says that we can reassure that the decision was not taken lightly. I mean, was it really a decision? Like, there's not really a decision
I
there,
don't
is
think
there?
there was much of a decision there, no.
They found that it was damaged, and that's just it. You're not running it,
Yeah,
sunshine. It's
very much.
not really a decision.
No, no.
That's,
So
that's the point after I've read it. I don't think I have seen this before. I don't know. This
sure,
isn't ringing
we've
any bells.
discussed it
I don't
at
think it
some
was
point, but
this is news to me. I don't catch up with this kind of stuff. Clearly, I've been living under a rock or something. When did this even happen? Oh, 22nd of July. That
yeah.
wasn't that long ago.
So I mean, it hasn't run since then, obviously. So it's under repair at the moment, but we don't really know when it's going to return. But I mean, there's huge steam bans and things going on at the moment anyway, so it's not like
Probably the best time it could have broken.
yeah. Honestly, that's a good time for it to break. Get some stuff fixed on it,
Get some
bring it
stuff
back
fixed.
out, good as
Maybe
new.
maybe they'll fix some other stuff that they didn't notice before as well.
Yeah, might as well just do a full
Yeah,
overhaul, honestly.
yeah, might as well. Yeah, just chuck it in for an early overhaul. See you later,
Yeah,
planet.
bring it back out, and the steam ban might be over by then. So
Yeah, hopefully.
there we go. Uh, yeah, that's just a little topic because I don't really know much about it other than the
No,
fact
nothing about it.
it needs repairing. That's about all I know about that. So
And then
yeah,
the thing that's basically everything we failed to mention last week.
yes,
And then on top of that, Aaron wanted to discuss what we did at the weekend. Just gone because we knew we were going to be doing it. And when me and
mm,
Aaron said that we could do this little catch up, just me and him, we thought we'd be able to include this, and that is that we went to see the Dorset Coast Express
yes,
in just outside Weymouth in the evening, and at well, me, Harley, and Sam saw it at Wareham in the morning.
yes. I
You
saw
saw
it
it
at
at Basingstoke.
Basingstoke. Yes. So I saw it before I got my train at Basingstoke. It's double-headed Class 33 rail tour. It's pretty rare sight.
It was
Definitely a
pretty
very
cool to
flashy
see.
sight.
It was very cool to see. It wasn't particularly flashy when it came through Wareham because it was already at speed and
I
just
mean,
kind of came through. We did get tones, so I mean, there's
hooray,
that is
tones.
because there's a crossing there, so not
Yeah,
really
tones weren't for you, I'm
anything
afraid.
special. It wasn't very like mega tones either. It was just little. There's a video on my TikTok at Railway George. Just go look at that, and you'll see the tones.
Good shout out. Good shout
Yeah,
out.
good shout out. It was like a last minute thing. I just realised there's literally a video of it online that you can see. Um,
Yeah.
and of
No,
course,
I
we
got.
didn't just. We'll talk about the 33s, of course, in a second, but I just wanted to throw out there that we didn't go down that way for no reason. I mean, Aaron travelled quite far as well. Actually, to be
Yeah,
fair, it's probably about equal distance for us three and Aaron. We live apart to get
that's
to
true.
that area.
Yeah.
But we made a day of it, went down to Swanage and bashed some of the Swanage railway stuff. The
You say
257.
bashed. We
Well,
line-sided.
we line-sided, but we vegged.
We were only there for like an hour or just over an hour, so I think it's understandable.
we vegged. We did not bash. We
Yeah.
vegged.
Yeah.
Um, and we vegged 257 Squadron and the U class that were
Oh,
running, which was a
what a
very good
beast.
combination, in my opinion. I mean, I'm a big fan of unrebuilt bullies.
Yes. As am I.
I can imagine there'll be a bit of a backlash with that. They'll be like, "What the hell? That's it. I'm turning the
Why do
podcast
you
off."
like those? God damn.
That's it. Turning the podcast off. Don't like these guys anymore.
We are kind of
Um,
southern stands,
yeah, kind
you could
of.
say.
I like everything. I want to just make that clear. There is
But
there
southern
is
is superior.
the unrebuilt bullies are just epic. I'm afraid
Yes.
that's just the
This
way
is
it
very
is.
true.
Um, but yeah, we saw the Class 33s at Wareham. Then Aaron arrived shortly afterwards. His train was literally following the 33s.
Yep.
And we picked it up. Went to Swanage. We go to Swanage first. Is that where we went?
No, we went to Corf first, which is where we ran through a
Oh
field.
right, yeah, we went to Corf, and there was a
Yeah.
really weird. There's a really weird, like I guess it's a school in Corf Castle. Well, not in Corf Castle, but Corf the village. And I'm guessing it must be a primary school. But I've been thinking to myself, what the hell is going on with this? Because there's two public footpaths that come off of the school field, and
Yeah.
both of those footpaths lead to a railway crossing. I don't know what kind of safety this school is trying to promote here. I mean, especially as it's very clearly going to be a primary school. Like, this is like 4 to 11-year-old kids being let roam free in this field with two easy paths that go to railway crossings. I mean, we'll look over that.
Yeah,
I guess.
then go bash. They want to see 257 Squadron as well. Like, come on.
There was like nothing really stopping you from leaving the field either. And I was like, they must keep an eye on those kids with like hawks.
Yeah. Maybe they just stand like on the path.
They probably get two poor members of staff to just stand at those entrances to the paths and go, "Nah, you're not going through, pal."
Yeah.
Everyone goes through. We tried looking for a railway crossing that Aaron wanted to go to see 257 Squadron.
Yeah.
We ended up going on an adventure down the wrong path for miles.
Wrong road.
Yeah, down the wrong road. We ended up in a field that was okay, but if it was winter, it would have been better. But it was all overgrown because it's summer, so it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
It could have been better. And we saw 257 Squadron. Then we went back to the school field, and then we realised we're stupid, and that the crossing we wanted to go to was right in front of us the whole time. It was literally like
Yeah.
a matter of meters in front of that school field.
It was not where I was expecting it to be, that's for sure. I mean, I've been there before, but it was a long time ago,
People
so
who know Swanage Railway probably know the one. It's literally like just out of Corfe Castle,
yeah. Heading
in
towards
the
Swanage.
Swanage direction. Literally the
Yeah.
first foot crossing. We wanted to be there, but we ended up in some field further up.
Yes.
Which is actually a field that is like one field down from the field that set fire later in the day.
The exact same day, yeah.
Yeah, which is the reason why
Thanks
Swanage
to
decided
257.
to run the 33s instead for this week.
Yeah. I'm sure that's something we'll bring up on the next episode.
Harley would object, would object, but I'm glad that we saw 257 in the U class on that day and not 33s.
Yeah, I would agree with that, to be honest. I mean, I love the U class. It's easily one of my favourite locos. Absolute beast.
Both of them are probably the best we could have seen at Swanage, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely not roasting Eddystone here, guys.
No, not roasting.
Definitely not roasting the only other Steam loco they have. Anyway, so yeah, we went straight to Swanage after that, and saw 257 again. Had lunch.
Saw a Lancaster bomber.
Yeah,
don't know why that was there.
That was interesting.
We arrived at Swanage and it was just circling the beach.
It's getting ready to bomb. Clearly, I mean,
I was like, sure, okay, welcome to Swanage.
Yeah, bombing the beach. I mean,
that was cool to see. I guess bit of a
that was a random one.
Just completely random. I still don't know what that was for. Did someone? I thought someone found something that it was for.
No.
Did you not find anything?
No, I saw it was flying over this. Well, a Lancaster bomb was also flying over the Severn Valley Railway, and that's about it.
Probably the same one.
Probably the same one, but it's very random. It was the same day, so
yeah, it's probably the same one. There's got to be some reason for it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was some event or something. I don't know, but Swanage was absolutely packed. As I'm sure you're not surprised on a sunny day at a beach town. Hardly surprising, a seaside town. So that was fun, but
the beach was absolutely rammed.
Yeah, we didn't go to the beach, but we looked at it.
Absolutely and utterly rammed.
Yes.
There was just no room on that beach whatsoever. I hate it when beaches get like that. I don't understand why people arrive and go, "Oh, that was perfect. I'll join in."
Yeah.
It just doesn't look very comfortable, and it's probably 1 billion degrees as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. One of our favourite points was the fact that you could see the Class 50 from like almost by the shoreline. There's
Yeah, you
like a
can
clear road right through the station. If you
look
haven't been
right
to
up the
Swanage,
look right up the Swanage High Street, and you can just see a Class 50 just parked at the top. It's quite a beautiful
yes,
sight, really.
perfect.
NSE as well, isn't it?
Yes, beautiful.
I think I'm establishing that the Lancaster bomber was a flight in memorial of the Battle of Britain,
Wow, well, isn't that
which
good?
went the Battle of Britain went on for months. So I guess they've just whacked it somewhere in the middle of when it was occurring, because it says that it went from the 10th of July 1940 to the 31st of October 1940. So I guess August, September time is an acceptable time to do the memorial, because
Mm,
it's like somewhere in the
yeah, I guess.
unless
I
you want
mean,
to do the memorial every day for
no,
2 months or 3 months, whatever.
yeah, well, that's good then that they had 257 Squadron running. Perfect.
Yeah, it's almost poetic.
Yeah, yeah, honestly. Uh, yeah, after our little stop for lunch, we explore it straight to Weymouth to try
Yes,
and
not
get to.
quite in Weymouth.
No,
Um, what would you describe the area we were at?
Upwey Bank. I mean,
Upway Bank,
it's
yeah.
by the tunnels, Bincoombe tunnels, I think
Yeah,
they're
we
called.
went to the tunnels up Upway Bank.
Yes,
Went up
think it's
into
Bincoombe
like
tunnel.
top of one of the hills that overlooks the bank and the tunnel, and filmed it from there. And I'll have a
Yes,
video for that to go on my TikTok at Railway George as well. So you
and
should maybe go over there.
that's where my photo came from that you will be seeing if you're watching on YouTube. That's my photo from up top there, which is a great view.
It was
They
very
weren't going very fast.
no, they must have had issues or something, because they later on they were having no problems at all. They were absolutely thundering along.
Yeah,
Um, so I don't really know what was going on there. Someone
it
else
is
might
a
have
steep
seen.
bank, but
Yeah, but it's two Class 33s.
yeah, you'd think they'd have a
They
bit more
weren't.
speed than they did,
They
but
very obviously weren't running in multiple for some reason. They were
no.
The drivers had walkie talkies and were talking to each other. Um,
Yes.
we could just about make out. Uh, and they were just struggling. They were going up the hill again. You'll be able to see the video at Railway George, and you'll be able to see what we mean. They
Mm,
were not going very quick up that hill whatsoever.
no.
It's quite
They
anticlimactic, actually, but they were freshy.
they
So
were flashy and they were claggy
yeah,
as well. So it was worth the
exactly.
trip.
And then after that, we took Aaron to Dorchester.
Dorchester South. Yeah.
Yeah, we took Aaron to Dorchester to go get his train home, and then me, Harley, and Sam absolutely bolted it to Yeovil to try and see it again.
But
Because
there was a funny moment where I looked at real time when I was on
yes,
my
it
train.
said it arrived at Yeovil 16 minutes early,
Yeah. Well, it
but
left
it
Yeovil
when
for 16
yeah,
minutes early.
it. Well, I was about to mention that it's just the fact there's no track circuits or anything in one of the
Yeah.
sections, so it just didn't know what to do. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but Traxi was completely like messed up as well, because it was, as far as Traxi was concerned, it was still in Weymouth.
Yeah. Great.
um,
Just never left.
hadn't even got the right head code. It was still 5 head code, not 1.
Yep.
So Traxi was don't know what Traxi was doing. Rail Record, the same, was still convinced that it had been activated and not left Weymouth yet. So I don't
Yeah.
really know what happened. The tour confused literally every tracking website there is
Yeah.
until it got to until it actually got to Yeovil Pen Mill. Then it like fixed everything. It suddenly like realised, oh, there it
Oh,
is.
there it is. I found it. I mean, yeah, let's not forget that Dorchester had a massive track circuit failure like last month at the exact same date that there was free tours at Weymouth. So,
Unbelievably, we did actually make it to see it again at Yeovil. We went
nice.
to a bridge and saw it again, and that was pretty cool. And we met a very nice old man at the bridge, who was
Good.
actually he was disappointed. He was disappointed because he thought he'd missed it because of all of the stupid stuff that
Oh,
all
yeah.
the online stuff. We reassured him that making it from uh, Dorchester to Yeovil in like 10 minutes was impossible.
Nice.
And then we saw it, and he was happy again, so it was all good.
Hooray.
Happy
You made a
happy
man's
ending.
day.
Yeah.
Made an
Have
old
it.
man's day.
And that was the end of our day.
And yeah, that was our little trip out and a little catch up and I mean covering old stories that we hadn't covered yet. I suppose we should have a lot of fresh stories ready to cover in the next episode.
Yes.
So
Hopefully, we should have a bunch of fresh things. Who knows what's going to happen between now and next week?
mm,
On that note, it will be next week that the next podcast comes out. And then after that, we'll probably go to a bi-weekly basis where we release one every 2 weeks.
yeah,
Um,
unless we do any like bonus ones like this.
unless we have bonus ones like this, I can. If you're listening now, expect our schedule to be every 2 weeks.
Yes.
But keep an eye out in between because there might be bonus episodes that come out.
Yeah,
Basically.
pretty much.
I also want to now. I know that we don't have very many listeners, but I can see we do have some. I'm gonna say about the mailbag. If you want
Mm,
to write in and with an email to contact us, so we can talk about your topic, or you can comment on something we said stupidly on our podcast.
many
Um,
things we said
yeah.
stupidly.
Then you can email wrongroadpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you put mailbag in all one word in the subject, and hopefully what I've set up is that'll flag them up for us so we can see all of them so they get filtered out of everything else.
Nice.
And then we'll be able to read them on podcast if we get any.
Yeah.
And I think that was all I really wanted to point out. Beyond that, you can follow my TikTok at Railway George. You can follow my Twitter at Railway George. You can follow Sam's
Of
Instagram
course.
at Shelf Desk Branchline.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that shout out. There we go.
All of them are actually on our website. All the links to those social medias are on our Acast website, which is www. No, not www. https://shows.acast.com/the-wrong-road.
There we go.
Got the link in the YouTube video if you need it. And yeah, that's all from me. I think. I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything else I want to mention.
No, that's that. So
So I guess that's the end of our little excursion. So
excursion. That's a
thank
good
you
way to put
for
it.
thank you for listening to the Wrong Road podcast. We hope you made it this far. If you did make it this far, why not send us an email and tell us you made it this far? And
Hooray!
and we will see you next week, hopefully, where all four of us will be on again. I hope, as long
Yes,
as we can all get all four of us together. I would say there's probably going to be at least three of us on the next one.
definitely.
But hopefully we can get all four of us again, and hopefully there'll be much to talk about.
Quite.
So goodbye, everyone. I've been George, and this has been Aaron.
Bye.
Bye bye.